Synthetic division provides us an easier alternative to dividing polynomials with long division. So the only downside is that synthetic division cannot always be used. We have to be dividing by something basically of this form, like the x plus 2. We have to be dividing by something in the form of x minus c in general. And so we can't have any x squareds or even 5x minus 2. It has to be just an x plus or minus a number. So once we have determined that our problem is in a form where we can use synthetic division, our setup involves starting off by writing the number c in a box here in the left hand corner. And so since the general form of the synthetic division has x minus c as the divisor, and we're dividing by x plus 2, our c in this case is actually negative 2, since x minus negative 2 would be x plus 2. So our c there, if I'm in that form with a minus built in, our c is actually negative 2. You can also just think of it as what would it take to plug in for x to make that a 0. I'd have to plug in a negative 2. So next to that box, we're going to write the coefficients of the polynomial in the dividend. So we're just going to write the coefficients, or the number part, starting with the coefficient of the term with the highest power. So in this case, that's an x to the third. So that has a coefficient of 1. So we're going to start by writing a 1 there. Now our next column needs to be the coefficient on the term with the power that's 1 less. And so if I'm starting with x to the third, the next column is the coefficient on x squared. Now we can see in our polynomial up here we do not have an x squared term, so I have to fill in a 0 there. We have 0x squared. And then next would be x to the first power, which we have a negative 7 on that. And then finally our constant term, which is negative 6. Now leave yourself room to write another row of numbers, and then we put our quotient line down there. And so our number in that first column always just comes straight down. And then we take that number that's below the line and multiply it by the number that's in the box to get the number that goes up here in this next spot. So 1 times negative 2 to get the negative 2. And then we add down the column. So 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. And then just continue that pattern. So we take that and multiply it by the number in the box. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then add down the column. Negative 7 plus 4, negative 3. And negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Then add down the column, and that's 0. Now that last entry is always going to be the remainder. The coefficients, or the numbers on the left side of that, are the coefficients of our quotient of our answer. And so we had started with an x to the third polynomial, a third degree, and we're dividing by an x to the first polynomial. So if I just kind of ignore the other terms for a second, if I did x to the third divided by x, that would leave me with x squared. And so because of the synthetic division having to be dividing by something in this form, our answer is always going to be 1 degree less than what we started with. And so these coefficients here will be the coefficients on a polynomial that's 1 degree less than what we started with. So since we started with x to the third, our quotient, our answer will be an x squared polynomial. So we'd have 1x squared minus 2x, we just count down by 1, minus 3, that's our constant term. So that is our solution, or our quotient. Because the remainder is 0, we didn't have to do anything additional.